The college basketball experience, Moneyline Mac Top 25 edition on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. And use that sign-up code TCESGPN to get a 50% deposit up to $1,000. That is the Underdog Fantasy promo code TCESGPN. And we're also brought to you by Rhythm, the leader in data-driven picks and props. Get your 7-day free trial today by going over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That is the sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM today. Welcome, everybody, into the college basketball experience. Moneyline Mac Top 25 edition. It's a great day. We got daytime hoops going on in the background. Got Wilmington and Bill and Mary. We got Wagner taking on St. Francis. We got games all throughout the day. Hope everybody's having a good Martin Luther King Day, good Donald Trump inauguration day. Great day for America. But yeah, let's get into it. Talk a little top 25 action because it just got released, the AP and coaches poll. If you are wondering who you're listening to, I am Moneyline Mac, aka the former video coordinator for Bob Huggins and Frank Martin. Also known as Mac Tonight over here at the College Experience. And how many weeks are we away now from March Madness? I think Selection Sunday is 8 weeks away from yesterday. So it is coming fast and furious. The college football national championship is tonight, Ohio State, Notre Dame. So college hoops is really going to ramp up here. We only have 3 NFL games left in the season as well. So, we're going to pick up the coverage here. I talked about it on the pregame show that we just did. We're debuting a new segment. I said more stuff to come when we got to 15K. Well, now we're debuting a new segment every single night. The top 5 games, matchups, what to watch, what you're looking for. Me and Troy will go live here tonight breaking down the top 5 games for Tuesday, Super Tuesday card, and we'll do that every single night of the college hoop season. Like I said, more and more content. The only way we can do so over and over again, subscribe, like, tell a friend, and all that good stuff. So thank you for getting us to 15K. Now we go to 20K and on and on and on. And, this is your premier spot for college basketball coverage. And let's talk about the AP Top 25 that just came out here over the last hour. Auburn, Iowa State 1-2 to nobody's surprise. That's last week. Sorry. I had the last week pulled up. So pulling it back up. There we go. Auburn, Duke, Iowa State, Alabama, Florida, Tennessee, Houston, Sparty, Kentucky. Then you get Marquette. That rounds out the top 10. Then you got Purdue, Kansas, A&M, Hail State, Oregon, 11 through 15. Ole Miss, Illinois, Wisconsin, UConn, St. John's, 16 through 20. Then you got Michigan, Missouri, West Virginia, Memphis, and Louisville. Rounding out the top 25. I put mine together. I think mine is much more better than the snorkeling AP Top 25. And I'll break down each angle on why I have that team in the top 25. But first, we got to talk about the SGPN app. Get it today. Get on over there. Free picks, free contests all year long, and the free podcast. Get on over there. Free over at the SGPN app. We're also brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. We love DraftKings, the OG of sportsbooks, legalized gambling. New customers can bet $5 to get 200 bonus bets instantly. You can get down on the national championship tonight. You can get down on NFL playoffs this weekend, college hoops every single day. I love DraftKings. And if you got a gambling
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over, age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
/audio, baby. Underdog Fantasy is also a proud sponsor. Get on over there, TCESGPN. We love good old Underdog. We just gave out an entry. Go check out the pregame show for tonight's games. And claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. That is the Underdog Fantasy promo code TCESGPN. And we're also brought to you by our friends at Rhythm. Build your own model, copy one of the top models. You can build it just like me. Home courts, defense, you can whatever you want to do. NFL, college football, college hoops. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That is the sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM today. All right, we are back. Look at that. I got it up without even any hesitation. I am tech savvy here on a nice Monday. Hope everybody's having a good day. I'll move myself. I think I actually looked better over here. Yeah, this is better. There we go. Beanick put this together. Shout out to the great Noah Beanick. All right, so my top 25, not much difference. I will go from reverse to top. So I'll go Arizona at number 25. I know they have the most losses by far of any team, but Arizona's been a different team since the start of the new year. Their playing ability has finally matched what the analytics have said on them. They had won 7-8 in a row since that UCLA loss. They lost in Lubbock. I'm not going to penalize them for that. They've got wins over Baylor, West Virginia, at Cincinnati, TCU. They beat Stanford by about 100 during this win streak. I think they are a top 25 team. So I got the Wildcats here at number 25. At number 24, I got the two-time defending national champion UConn Huskies. They're 13-5. Tough loss on Saturday. They've lost 2 out of 3, so you got to knock them a little bit. I initially did have them, I think, at the previous week in the teens somewhere, but I got to penalize them for dropping a home game to Creighton as a 7-8 point favorite. Still like this team overall. I don't think they're a national championship contender. I know UConn fans, it's hard for them to fathom that, being the two-time defending champs, but this team's got a lot of holes. It's nowhere near the other two teams, but they'll get to the tourney. They may get to the second weekend because of Hurley, but I'm not buying them as a championship contender this year. Number 23, I got the Texas Tech Red Raiders. They had a really good week. They beat K-State on the road. McCaslin, Tang, really good friends. And then they followed up with a nice win at at home against Arizona. They've won 4 out of 5 now. Their only loss being that overtime game against Iowa State where they gave the game away. So don't look now. McCaslin and his bunch 13-4, 4-2 in the Big 12. I think 23 is a nice spot for him. Missouri, another team that had a hell of a week, 2-0. They've won 4 in a row now. Beating LSU, Vandy, Florida, Arkansas, since losing that opener to Auburn. And they won at the Swamp this week. So Dennis Gates, nice bounce back in year number 3. Like this team a lot with the different transfers. They did a good job in the portal. The Tigers are rolling if you're a Missouri fan. At number 21, I got the Fighting Illini, 13-5. They have lost 2 out of 3. A lot of people have them closer to 10 to 15. I don't get that. You have to knock them for the USC loss. I can't ignore that you lost to USC by double digits at home. I know it had come after they won 4 or 5 in a row. They were shorthanded, but you still got to find a way to win that game. And they lose on Sunday at Sparty. I don't really penalize that too much, but I'm not going to have you in the top half of the top 25 with those losing 2 out of 3. Now 5 losses on the year. Still like Illinois offensively. I think they're really good. And Underwood once again had some in the hunt in the Big 10. My Mountaineers coming at number 20. I mean, DeVries year 1. They keep picking off big opponent after big opponent. They won at the Fog earlier in Big 12 play. Now they beat Iowa State to hand them their second loss. I think you're crazy if you don't have the Mountaineers in your top 25. sitting at 13-4. They're going to go back to the NCAA tournament. It's been a fun first year to what I think is going to be a really good era with DeVries. So 13-4, 4-2 in Big 12 play. They got Arizona State tomorrow night. They got to find a way to continue to protect home court because it's so hard to win on the road in the Big 12. Speaking of difficulty of winning on the road, Michigan, Noah Beanick. I had Michigan around 10 or 11, but I got to knock them after losing at Minnesota 0-6 in the Big 10. And then they come back and they also they barely beat Northwestern yesterday. So they had a bad week overall. I give them credit for finding a way to win. They're at Purdue later this week. I think 19 is a good spot for Michigan and Dusty May, although they have come back a little bit to the pack here over the last couple of weeks, sitting at 14-4. The Johnnies come in at number 18. The Johnnies are quietly 16-3, winners of 5 in a row. I know the Big East isn't very good, but still, they're rolling opponents. They won at Seton Hall by like 30 the other day. Been super impressed with the Johnnies this year. Defensively, I think they're really good. They got length, they got size, they got athleticism. This is going to be a tough team come March. And obviously, you got Patino. So, like the Johnnies, like the trajectory of this team, coming in at number 18. At number 17, I got the Oregon Ducks. They drop a third home game. They're undefeated on the road. They lose to Purdue. I mean, Purdue's really good. Once again, even though they don't have Edey, they continue to find ways. Matt Painter can flat out coach. Oregon sitting at 15-3, solid year so far in the Big Ten. But you got to knock them a little bit for dropping home games. So I got them sitting at number 17. I like Dana Altman's team. Did a good job in the portal. They're old. And they're going to be a pain coming down the stretch for Big Ten opponents. 16. I don't think people realize Wisconsin is 15-3. I did not know this until I started diving into all these teams last night for this top 25. Wisconsin is 15-3, and they've won 7 in a row. I think we just all remember them losing that 3 games in a row to Michigan, Marquette, and Illinois. They haven't lost since. 15-3, good wins all over the resume. They win at USC. They're at UCLA tomorrow to end the LA trip. The Badgers continue to find ways to win with Greg Gard, whether it's sexy or not. Love the Badgers this year, and they score the ball better than they have in years past. A&M at number 15. They were a hard team to place just because they have dropped games, but Wade Taylor, their best player, hasn't been there. Nice bounce-back win at home Saturday against LSU. They dropped games to Bama and Kentucky before that, but still, I think A&M's a SEC contender. I think they could get to a Final Four if they can get Wade Taylor back. Buzzsaw, by far his best team so far in College Station. At number 14, I got Marquette. Maybe you could say this is a little harsh because they just lost 1 game for the first time since early December. But I just think that the Big East is a little bit weaker this year. Losing to Xavier is a 10-point favorite at home. That's a bad loss, in my opinion. And they've been playing with fire before that. They barely beat Georgetown. They should have lost to DePaul. So they basically just delayed the inevitable. They finally drop a game. I still like Shaka's team. Cam Jones looks a little banged up. They got to get him going again because at one point he was the best player in the country. They got to get him back playing at that high level if they want to have a deep run in March. At number 13, I think this team is very controversial to everybody. Kansas. Kansas does not suck, guys. I know Kansas sucks compared to the elite Kansas teams, but there's a narrative out there that Kansas sucks and they're not going to – there's no chance that they're going to win in March. I mean, I don't know if I buy into them being if they're going to get to the Final Four, but as long as Bill Self's on that sideline, they're going to find ways to win. They lost at Hilton, all right? Like, everybody's losing at Hilton this year. I'm not going to penalize them for that loss. Nice bounce-back win against K-State. Yes, John, in the chat, Dickinson sucks. I'm not a big Hunter Dickinson fan, but I do like the other pieces. I think the transfers are playing better. I like DeJuan Harris. I like KJ Adams. Dickinson, I think, is honestly the one that holds them back from ultimately winning a national championship. But Kansas doesn't suck. I think 13 is a perfect place for them, sitting at 13-4, 4-2 in Big 12 play. And it should be noted, if you look at Bill Self's teams over the years, they always take it on the chin a couple times in January, and then February they just take off. We'll see if it happens this year. But I like Kansas as a top 15 team again, and I think they are getting better slowly. Defensively, they've gotten a lot better. They got to find ways to make shots from the perimeter, though. Ole Miss, my sleeper in the SEC, coming in at number 12. they would have been like almost top 5 if they had won at Mississippi State the other night, because that would have been a hell of a win after they had just won at Alabama. Great week for them. They win in Tuscaloosa by double digits. Then they lose in overtime thriller to Mississippi State. Sitting at 15-3, 4-1 in league play. I love this team. I love Beard. I've talked about it at length. I think he's a top 5, top 10 coach in college basketball. He just had the incident in Austin, and I think people forgot how good a coach he is. Rodney Terry got to an Elite Eight because of Chris Beard's team and culture, and we've seen where Texas has gone since Beard left down. So Ole Miss is starting to look like Texas Tech did with Beard, and Rebel fans, you guys enjoy having Beard, man. He can flat out coach, especially with Mark Adams back too, running his defense. So they got the band back there, and they're rolling. The other team that's rolling is Hail State, 15-3. They took it on the chin at Auburn at the Jungle. Everybody takes it on the chin at the Jungle. They bounced back. They beat Ole Miss at home on Saturday, 15-3, 3-2. Best offensive team for Christians by a country mile so far. Love this team. And Hubbard's a dog. They got a star. And this is a fun team. I'm looking forward to seeing them in March. I can't believe this team is back in the top 10. Purdue. Death taxes Purdue. Purdue has won 7 in a row since dropping those back-to-back games at A&M and Auburn. They win at Oregon. They won at Washington. They beat Nebraska by 100. They won at the RAC during this streak. This has not been a fluke streak, man. Braden Smith's playing at a great level. Kaufman Wren, no, he's not Zach Edey, but he's finding ways to be productive. Fletcher Lawyer. Purdue. Purdue ain't going anywhere, guys. I said that in the preseason just because Edey left. This has been a really good program before the past 2 decades under Painter, especially over the last decade. And it's everything the Hoosiers want to be is what Purdue is. So shout out to Purdue. At number 9, I got Kentucky. Kentucky's has maybe more big wins other than Auburn than any other team. Their resume is top-notch. Wins over A&M, Mississippi State, Florida, Louisville now. That's a quality win. They won at Gonzaga. They beat Duke. This is a really good Kentucky team. They did drop the game to Alabama. I was on Alabama in that game. It's a bounce-back spot. I like Kentucky. Year 1 of Mark Pope. Solid year. A lot better than Arkansas, I can say that. So they're in at number 9. I think that's a perfect spot for them. The hottest team in college basketball, Sparty, Izzo, a throwback team. They don't even shoot threes. They have won 11 in a row. They have not lost since Maui against Memphis. They have 2 losses on the year to Memphis and Kansas. They're 7-0 in Big Ten play. This is a remarkable team. It's amazing. They're deep. They got size. They got experience. Izzo's team last year was supposed to be really good. Izzo is better when expectations are lower. Nobody was on this team other than me. I picked them to win the Big Ten. Noah Beanick. Because I know Izzo always overachieves with the teams under the radar. They're right there, man. I like this team a lot. This is a fun team. Defensively, they're tough, and they looks like an old Tom Izzo team. Speaking of a team that looks like their coach, by the way, Sparty's sitting at 16-2 overall. Tennessee, 16-2 themselves. They only got 2 losses. They're only 2 losses at Vanderbilt at the buzzer. And then Florida by 30 on the road. That was a bad loss, losing the way they did. But Tennessee, they're rock solid. Once again, top 5 team defensively in the country. Rick Barnes, they're gonna go 26-6. I think they can get to the second weekend. They may be able to get to the Final Four. Lanier's done a nice job if he just shoots the ball like he's paid to do. I like Tennessee. They're good. They're solid. It's the best way I can describe them. At number 6, I got the Gators of Florida. Florida coming in at 16-2. I may argue they could be the best team in the country in terms of just the way that they play and the way the eye test, the way that their roster looks. They got really good wins as well. They did drop a random game to Missouri at home, so we have to penalize them. Their guards are awesome. The 3-headed monster in the backcourt of Clayton, Martin, and Richard. Love their bigs. They got two deep at each position. I think this is a national championship contender in Florida, but I got to knock them for that Missouri loss. Say you can't lose at home. I penalize teams for losing at home. At number 5, this team, everybody wrote them off in November, and here they are again. Houston, the Cougars, by far the number 1 team in the country. Nobody could score 70 points on this goddamn team. They win at the buzzer against UCF. They've won. Them and Sparty, they both lost a game in that Thanksgiving weekend feast week, and they have not lost since. They've won 10 in a row now. They're 6-0 in the Big 12. They're absolutely rolling. They have a big week here. They got Utah at home, then they go to Fog, then they go to Morgantown. So a couple tricky spots here for the Cougs. But Kelvin Sampson, they're replacing Jamal Shedd nicely. I think in November they just didn't know their roles as much, and they missed Jamal Shedd. They have found ways to finish, and they've just really guarded the shit out of everybody. Nobody has scored. UCF was like the first team that went over 60 in over 2 months. So shout out to Houston. They crack in at number 5. At number 4, I got Alabama. Alabama, 15-3. They have played the hardest schedule in the country by far. They drop a home game to Ole Miss after they went to A&M and won. So what do? Get it right out of their system. They go to Rupp. They win at Kentucky. They put 100 on Kentucky at Rupp. Alabama's the real deal. Whether you like their style or not, they're some tough you-know-what. I like Alabama. I like Nate Oates. Mark Sears is a dog. They have an identity, and they continue to win. At number 3, I got Duke. I know some people think Duke should be higher. The ACC sucks. I'm just going to say it. Like, how many other ACC teams do we have in this top 25? None. Because maybe we could put Louisville in there. Maybe you can make the argument for Clemson. I can't put Duke over Iowa State or Auburn. I know Duke beat Auburn. That was at Cameron. And Auburn, that was Auburn's only loss of the year. Duke, they're good. I mean, Cooper Flagg's a star. He has lived up to expectations and more. Defensively, I've been really impressed. The analytics love them. But like I keep saying, man, they're starting to remind me of Gonzaga over the years. They play in a bad league. The ACC's bad, and the WCC's bad. So they're going to keep stacking wins together. And but the Dukies, I got at number 3. I can't put them over Iowa State or Auburn right now. No way. Especially with who Auburn and Iowa State have beaten so far this year. Iowa State comes in at number 2. I know people wanted me to freaking knock them. They lost in Morgantown. It's one of the toughest home court environments in all the country. You saw that environment on Jerry West Day. That was a tough spot. They had just beaten Kansas at home by 20. They had won in Lubbock. They had won 12 in a row. They dropped a game finally. Iowa State's the real deal. Iowa State, in my opinion, might be the best team in the country. But that was a scheduled loss in Morgantown. And they still almost found a way to win. So Iowa State does a little banged up. Momchilovich, or whatever you pronounce his goddamn name, he's out for an extensive time, maybe for the year. But I love those guards. I love Lipsy, love Jones, love Gilbert, love the front court, love Otzelberger and their culture. I continue to put Cyclones at number 2. And at number 1, because they beat Iowa State and they only have one loss, no Johni Broome, no problem. They continue to find ways to win. 17-1. 17-1. Winners of 10 in a row. Beat Georgia on the road. Beat Hail State. This seems awesome. You got to tip your cap. They will get Broome back eventually. Auburn will go through a stretch here where they'll probably drop 3 out of 4 or something just because of the SEC grind and playing on the road. But, yeah, absolutely. Auburn's awesome. All right, guys. Where we go? There we go. Technology. All right, there you go. I'm centered. That does it for the Moneyline Mac Top 25. Like I said, like, subscribe, tell a friend. We're going to keep bringing you more and more content. That's the only way we do so. Subscribing. There is a business side to this. As much as I love to just talk college hoops, you got to take care of the business side of it as well. So make sure you like, tell a friend, subscribe, and leave a 5-star review over at Apple and Spotify as well. It helps on that platform as well. I know the YouTube portion is the main one for this audience, but make sure you leave a 5-star over at Apple and Spotify as well. Scheduling tonight's going to be a late night show over at the main show, me and Colby, because he's got college football recap show, and then we'll go live probably closer to between 1 and 2 in the morning. So you may have to catch the replay in the morning, or maybe take a cat nap after that Ohio State Notre Dame game. And then we are debuting a new segment, me and Troy, the Big 12 guru. We are going to break down matchups, the top 5 games of every night. So It'll be a 10-minute segment, rapid fire, what matchup we're looking for, and just breaking it down. Maybe Troy will pick the game. I'm not going to pick the game on that show because I do that on the pick show. But we're going to break down the matchups and what we're looking for. We love college basketball, so we're going to bring that to you. That's a new segment, the games to watch for tomorrow, and then pregame show, regular schedule starting back tomorrow, 6:00 Eastern, Tuesday through Friday. Today was a special day because it's Martin Luther King and the game started at 1:00. So that's all I got, guys. This has been another edition of Mac Tonight on the College Basketball Experience. Mac Tonight signing off over here at the College Basketball Experience. You better start thinking about yours, and we are out of here.